Do you remember this? It goes back to the 1970s. Any simple peasant is afforded the ability in love to win or lose, while I of the nobility am robbed of the facility to choose. Any serf or servant can by natural selection elect himself a mate if she's amenable. But due to my high breeding I'm continually acceding to demands I find exceedingly untenable. I wish to know, I demand to know, why can't I be two people? Why can't I live two roles? Why can't one of me perform all the cloying amenities, while the other me, twin brother me, be a free and happy soul? Why can't I be two people, split myself right in half? Then I could satisfy and mollify and pacify and qualify, while the other me, twin brother me, would have a hell of a happy life. Or something like that, anyway. I don't know if you remember that. That was from a film called The Slipper and the Rose, a simply charming film, I thought, with Richard Chamberlain, who sadly died 2 days ago. I think the news is coming out at the moment. So this is a singular figure from the 20th century, from television, from stage. And he died in Hawaii at the age of 90 from complications following a stroke. He would have turned 91 this week. And he was a household name when I was terribly small, and it barely captures the extent of his reach. So I discovered Richard Chamberlain in The Slipper and the Rose, and then he was also in the Towering Inferno and so on, across television, stage, screen. He embodied this sort of suave, sensitive, softly tormented figure. He was born in Los Angeles. I think he was also Canadian in some form, but his ambitions reached far beyond his sun-drenched beginnings. He was in Korea for the U.S. Army. He pursued acting in 1961. He became an overnight sensation in Dr. Kildare, and it ran for 5 seasons, turning him into this celebrated American actor in white coat and Technicolor. And he sang. He released singles, three stars or something, and he became a sort of pin-up. But he wasn't content to remain there. He wanted the respectability of stage work. He came to the UK. He did Hamlet in Birmingham. Became the first American to take on Hamlet in Britain since John Barrymore, and he followed it with Richard II, Cyrano de Bergerac, even Byron, and then he did Shogun in 1980, The Thornbirds 83. But for me it was the Slipper and the Rose, and in 2003. In a memoir called Shattered Love, he came out as gay, a revelation that many people may have suspected, but that he had been forced to conceal for decades. And he admitted that he was happier living life openly, but he was grateful to have been a working actor. That was the main thing he wanted out of this lifetime. And quiet, dignified, stoic, it tells us everything. Chamberlain's career was both a triumph and a kind of compromise, a glittering surface concealing deep restraint, and that he maintained a relationship of over 40 years with the actor and producer Martin Rabbit, his co-partner, his co-star, his companion, is testimony to a private courage which goes way beyond any role that he played on stage, on film, on television. He did guest appearances in Will and Grace, Desperate Housewives, Twin Peaks, David Lynch's stuff, and his partner has said, Martin Rabbit has said, he is free and soaring to those loved ones before us. Our love is under his wings, lifting him to his next great adventure. the matinee idol who became a genuine artist, the star who became a symbol, and the man who in the end chose authenticity. He leaves an extraordinary body of work, a quiet legacy of resistance, and an example of a life lived on his own terms.